Hello friends. Now I'll be talking on GPS for the geographers. It will be basically the application of GPS as a tool for the geographers. It will be helpful. I think it will be very helpful for the persons who are teaching geography, who are students, as well as the scholars in the various fields of geography. So what is GPS? GPS, since early age, finding location on the surface of the earth is very important as far as geography is concerned. So from prehistoric age, man wanted to know where I am and in which direction I move. Navigation is the primary concern for the persons, and since in the very beginning people was using celestial bodies as and different landmarks, and for the next invention of magnetic compass. After that, people started using latitude and longitude, and in present context, some radio-based navigation system are using, and finally, at very present, use of GPS, GLONASS, and something like that. So GPS is basically presently global navigation system is basically is of two types: GPS, that is having global coverage, and it is purely made by United States Department of Defense, and the Russian counterpart of this global navigation system is GLONASS. Apart from these two globally covered navigation satellite system, there are some other regional navigation system also, like Galileo of European Community, Compass and Beidou of Chinese regional navigation system, QZSS for Japanese satellite system, and finally the NAVIC. Presently, just last year, it has been successfully completed its entire installation process, the NAVIC of Indian Space Research Organization, and it is named as IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigation and Satellite System. All these are country specific and particularly aimed for the regional navigation. But presently, I'll be talking about only the GPS, that is globally covered one. So what is GPS? GPS is Global Positioning System, the most accurate so far and the most reliable system. It is a constellation of 24 Earth orbiting satellites, all about say around 20,000 kilometer high from the ground. It is basically used for the determination of location of a place as well as some other features. It consists basically of three segments. One is space segment, control segment, and user segment. Space segment. Space segment, it is basically concerned with the entire satellite system. It has 24 satellite constellation, and first GPS satellite was launched in 1978, and full constellation achieved in 1994. So it is far, say about 4 years back from now. Satellites built to last about 10 years. Almost all satellites are aged generally maximum of 10 years. And at present, there are 32 satellites in the orbit, 24 are operation in time, 6 planes. Each plane has 4 satellites, and the speed, revolution speed is about 10,600 kilometer per hour. So this is the space segment. Almost about 6 to 7 satellites are continuously on view from a particular point on the Earth. As many number of satellites are visible from the point on the ground, the accuracy of the data will be higher. What is the satellite signals? Basically, space segment contains some satellite signals. It contains location of the satellite when sent, the time the code was sent, contains some ephemeris data, and contains almanac. Ephemeris data means orbital information which is used accurately for calculation of the location of the GPS satellite. It is highly detailed, and it generally valid for maximum up to 4 hours. Because it go on changing every time, a complete copy of this data is required for a position calculation. So space and another almanac data is basically it is the data about the other satellites around the particular one. So ephemeris data, it has codes. It consists of location and time, and almanac data, it consists of the codes for the location of the other satellites in the space. Another one component is control segment. There are one US Space Command. This is the master control station, and 5 monitor stations. Presently there are about 16 monitor stations of the GPS constellation, and some 4 others are the upload stations. Master control station controls everything. It uploads as well as downloads the signals, and monitor station is used. Stations are basically used for monitoring the satellite, and it tracks the satellites as well as it controls the satellite health, etc. Next. User segment. User segment, geographers are basically concerned with this particular segment, as geographers use location specific data or geographical data, and GPS is enabled to provide location specific data. That's why GPS is very important for the geographers. So these are in this way 3 segments of GPS are interconnected. Space segment with the control segment and the user segment, how these are interconnected with one another. So now how the system works. It is basically meant ranging. What is ranging? Ranging is a method of calculating distance between 2 objects on the surface. Like if you hear a thunderstorm occurred at night, first you can see the strike of the lightning. So I determines the start time, and after 1 to 3 seconds you would hear the thunder. That is the end time. So distance from where the thunderstorm is occurred, it can be calculated. The time of travel means the difference between the start time and the end time, or the time when lightning strikes and the time when the thunderstorm is heard, or thunder is heard. That is the travel time. It will be multiplied. If you multiply it by speed of sound, it will give the distance where actually the thunderstorm occurred. In the same principle, in GPS also, it can be ranged the distance of the satellite from the surface of the earth. It will simply, distance is equal to half of the travel time multiplied by the velocity of the electromagnetic signal, half because it travels twice. First is the signal goes down and then again it goes back to the space probe. So this is the method. So now R is equal to C times delta t, means the distance traveled. But there is a time gap or time lag between the GPS clock as well as the clock in the receiver, because basically GPS satellites or satellite vehicles basically use atomic clocks which are very, very precise, but the low-cost receivers use ordinary quartz clocks. So there is a time lag, and that's why the ranging is not so much accurate. There is an error, and that is why it is called pseudo range. And the signal, that is why the signal coming out from the GPS satellites is called pseudo range or pseudo random noise. So that is why it is called PRN codes. So the whole system works on the accuracy. So these are the two different types of clocks used in satellite vehicles as well as those which are used in the ordinary GPS receivers. So how PRN code is generated? This is called pseudo ranging. The GPS transmitter, it first gives a carrier signal L1, L2, and then it is modulated. This is PRN code, the sine wave transformed into square wave. This particular square wave, after demodulated, it is received by the receiver, and then this is the time lag, the satellite code and the receiver code. This is the time lag. This is actually the distance measuring. And three types of codes are basically used: CA code, P code. CA code, course acquisition, it is generally used for location measurement, and P code, it is encrypted and it is secret code. It is secret, and it has been made secret by for the military purposes. There are so many errors in GPS. Clock error, that is one kind of error. Another one is ionospheric delay. Ionospheric delay is due to the passing of the signals through the ionosphere. And another one kind of error is multipath error. The GPS signal, when it gets refracted by the buildings, by the mountains and all. So these three kinds of error finally added to called a factor that is called DOF, or dilution of precision. It actually dilutes the precision of the location specific data. This is put GDOP, general dilution of precision. This is a good kind of DOF. These are the satellite locations if satellite geometry or satellite locations are, satellites are well distributed on the sky, then the precise, data will be precise. But if the satellites are closer, then the GDP value will rise. So what are the geographical applications of GPS? Come to that point. Environmental resource mapping. We can map different kinds of environmental resources. We can delimit the forest boundaries, biodiversity mapping, habitat mapping, land, sea and air navigation and tracking, elephant tracking, particularly in the areas where elephant or some other kinds of animals which are particularly leading to man-environment conflict. In that situation, GPS trackers can be used for the animals, and we can track them. Collection of water samples, air samples, mapping of solid waste disposal sites, etc. And finally, the topographic surveying. High positioning accuracy, mapping of what are the major factors, mapping of deep forests and rugged mountains, capable of determining velocity of moving objects. Elevation data is obtained on a global single datum. All weather system available 24 hours a day. No recurring user charges. And position information is obtained in 3 dimensions. Surveyors use absolute locations to make maps and determine property boundaries, obtaining horizontal as well as vertical position of a point on the go, and scope of direct export of field data to GIS softwares. These are the advantages using GPS for collection of geographical data. Now, I'm coming to the direct application, particularly in mapping field. How we can use GPS in general day-to-day. It can replace the general day-to-day conventional surveying, like we use prismatic compass for traversing, we use theodolite, we use plane table for traversing. We can readily use GPS for all these works. So here, an open traverse has been done using a GPS, and the GPS data is directly uploaded to the computer and finally analyzed in Microsoft Excel. In the same way, closed traverse can also be done. In the same way, closed traverse, in the closed traverse, the Google map can also be encoded in the Excel sheet, and it can be directly mapped from the Google image. Next. It can also be used for calculating accurately calculate distance between 2 points just by using this simple formula. This is simple Pythagorean theorem. Next. In geography, GCP collection and georeferencing can also be done using GPS in cadastral mapping as well as in regional scale mapping also. For the entire district, there can be many GCPs can be collected from different places, and on the basis of those GCPs, the map can be registered on the GIS environment. Buffering can also be done by using GPS. Nearest neighbor analysis, that can also be done by using GPS data, because we can use the GPS data directly into the computer, and after that the entire data can be plotted in the software environment. mobile mapping, if you use the GPS with your laptop, you can collect the waypoint data directly from the GPS to the laptop, and you can directly plot a road or any street on the map. The DEM generation can also be done using GPS data. This is digital elevation model of a place. It can also be done by GPS. And finally, with the, it is basically a navigation device. And so if you want to trek somewhere, you can easily take a GPS handset with you, and you may lost in the jungle or in the mountain or in any type of whiteout. You can go, like if you want to trek this route, it will be a curve. You want to go from this place to this lake. You want to go by trekking using a GPS. You can set your GPS waypoints. These are the waypoints you have selected to go to the lake. If what your GPS do, your GPS will not see your curved road. It will join the two waypoints by straight lines. Somehow you have to manage this straight line with the curved one. It is actually GPS is saying, GPS is confusing. This is the actual position, yellow star is the actual position, while the green star is the probable position GPS is taking. Out of these probable positions, it is averaged, and finally the yellow star, it is getting the yellow star. So these green stars are the probable positions. It is due to the multipath error basically. In the hilly areas or in jungles, multipath error is most important, and that's why the green stars are coming. And after averaging for sometimes, let's say for example, it will take sometimes to fix a position, it takes sometimes 1 minute or 2 minutes. Out of the average position, it will finally reach this yellow star. And it will go like this. So GPS have different probable position. You may get this position or may not get this position. So it will finally, so thank you very much.